Oh my goodness. I'm so, so excited to be with all of you tonight. We are going to really dig into the question, what's going to happen in the next dimension, right? We're moving from third dimension to fifth dimension, and what are us as star seeds really going to start to experience? And so tonight we're going to play with the energy and collectively combine our energies and intuitively feel into what the field has to say. We're going to specifically work with the energy of June 2021, July, and August. So it's going to be really fun because we're going to get to see what's happening in the field and what information is available to us as a collective. Because ultimately, we're kind of in this field, this energetic space, which you can either designate all kinds of labels, but I like to think of it as God, right? The beloved, the divine, the magical, and it encompasses us at any one moment. It is always with us, and as we are traveling through to this next awakening, um, we're going from old energies, third dimensional energies, physicality. We're moving to a space of a higher dimension. And it's really, if you think about it, it's just the different perspectives. It's not necessarily like we're going anywhere, although it might like to, some of us starseeds. And if you don't know what starseed is, for me, I always think of it as somebody who really resonates with the idea that they don't necessarily belong here on planet Earth. Not that we don't love planet Earth, it's that resonance of sort of homesickness. And we think we kind of have this knowing within us that there's another place, there's another more angelic space that we kind of resonate with as our home. And that, to me, is what a starseed is, or a light worker, really. But a starseed has a very specific purpose, in my opinion, and they have a different frequency, a different resonance than the light workers. Um, if you think of sort of a beehive, I think of the starseeds as the queen bees. I think of them as very special. They have a very intense frequency and a very, very strong mission. And you might resonate with the idea that there's some big reason you're here, and we're starting to see it in the news. And we're starting to really feel all the craziness that's happening worldwide. And all of us are starting to feel like, okay, we're getting into position. And your life might be changing quite rapidly over the last year, let alone, the pandemic. But there's sort of this, you feel like you're moving into alignment with certain people and certain places and things like that. So that's really what a starseed for me is. And the awakening, this predicted change in evolution, is this idea that we're moving to more of a positive, more energetically high frequency environment where we can really open our hearts. And last time we did the circle, it was very much about what's stopping us from experiencing the new earth now. And the answer was opening our hearts and communicating, right? Because our hearts have been hidden. A lot of our starseeds are very, very sensitive, and we don't like rejection, and we don't like the chaos that's outside of ourselves a lot of times. And so we tend to sort of like, hunker down and hide, or because we're so hypersensitive to everything. And so this is sort of like this frequency change. If you're familiar with the Schumann resonance, it's this evolution of frequency where we start to be able to really communicate in a state of love and a state of acceptance and really, really lovely energy. And I'm really excited about that opportunity. But there's some stuff that we have to get through, right? We have to show ourselves of that third dimensional belief systems, that denser energy. And so tonight we're really going to explore what is that transition? What's coming in that's going to help us move all of that gunk and to a different to the higher frequencies. So with that, I'm going to ask everybody to just kind of center in. We're already starting to gel as a circle. We're already starting to, start to sync up with our energies. And so just kind of really relax into it, because tonight is whether you participate as a representative or not, it's really about just leaning into the field, because we're going to co-create some pretty epic, really high vibe energy, and you can come back to it through the recording and use your intention to really submerge yourself into whatever's coming up for you individually and allow for it to release through the circle, because together we're so exponentially more powerful. So that's the magic. So let's just take a deep breath and just really kind of get centered. And I want you for a second, just really just imagine that you're going to breathe in Mother Earth's beautiful energy through your feet, all the way up through your ankles. And then just bring her magical energy up through your ankles, all the way through your calves, all the way through your thighs, up your spine, all the way through your neck, all the way out through your crown, right? And we're going to do one more time. Bring it in through our feet, up through our spine, all the way through our head, out through our crown. And one more time. Intentionally bring all the Mother Earth's energy, all her deliciousness, come through your legs, all the way up through your spine, all the way out through your neck, all the way through your head, out through the crown. All right, and we're going to do the reverse. We're going to bring in all the magical energy from the universe and all our guides. We're going to breathe them into the now. We're going to ask for them to be part of this circle. We're going to breathe them in and call them in. We've already called in a lot of beautiful energies. And if you have any beautiful divine masters that come to mind, bring them into your attention. Just invite them into this energy and then breathe all the way through your body, all the way down into Mother Earth's energy. Beautiful. We're going to do one more time. Breathe it in and relax all the way through our body, all the way down to Mother Earth. And one last time, we're going to breathe in, and then we're going to merge all that yummy, beautiful Mother Earth's energy with all the universal energy, and we're just going to cover ourselves in this magical yumminess, this cloak of divine energy, positivity. Beautiful. I love it. All right, so let's just bathe in that. Whew. Okay. And I'm going to put these agreements into our chat, and you can read them. And then I'm going to ask for everybody to unmute themselves and just say that you agree. So, and that we have this verbal agreement between all of us for what we're doing here tonight. In this circle, we fully own our participation, our choice to be here, to speak for myself, ourselves, to learn, to listen to my and our bodies, and to take care of myself or ourselves as conscious participants. We fully own that our participation affects and influences the group and everyone around us, as we are all connected. And we are here in support of each other and this creation. We are in together. This is sacred. honor it with such reverence for ourselves and for each other, confidentiality of what is being shared, and more sharing with full consent and releasing what belongs to us into the field. And these agreements were first created by Gwendolyn Terror, my mentor, and Shirley Norwood and Linda Galvin. So thank you. All right. Whew. Okay, so during this experience, you may feel things that are coming up, and I would love for you to participate by sharing them in the chat. And whatever comes up, I mean, you never know what kind of things that come through you as a message for all of us. And by your not sharing, it kind of cuts off the energy for all of us to share it. And so it's not necessarily that it's going to come, through you as a personal issue. It's going to be part of the circle. It's going to be part of the collective. And so we encourage you to really be brave and just share it, because it really helps me facilitate the circle, really feel into what's happening here and what are some of the energies that are coming through, right? We're all energy, and energy and emotion. Energy in motion is emotion. So if you're feeling any kind of emotions, those are part of the collective. They're part of this field tonight. And verbalizing them allows for us to move through them.
Johanna?
Yes.
It's Simone. Did you want to have everyone unmute and anchor in their...
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's do that now. So everybody unmute. Ooh, and say, yes, I agree to this agreement.
Yes, I agree to this agreement.
I agree with this agreement.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
Ooh. All right. Thank you, my lovely co-host. All right. Is anybody feeling anything that's coming up immediately that they want to verbalize? Anything? I'm getting pretty hot. I don't know about you guys. I can feel it. All right. I have some starting points that I'd like to invite. And then what I'll do is I'll pin you, and then you can change your name. If you don't know how to change your name on your, you just click the top right-hand button and it allows you to rename yourself. So you'll be representing that energy. If you've not been a representative before, but it really resonates and you really want to participate, it's absolutely wonderful. And then if you don't, it's wonderful too, because I've gotten just as much amazing kind of insights from these circles over the last few years of just witnessing. Sometimes they're really powerful either way. So just trust your intuition, right? All right. I'm going to call in, and if it kind of resonates with you, you can put your hand up. The energy of June 2021. And it's the old energy of June. It's the 3D energy of June. And just feel into that. Yeah. Johanna. I love it. Let's have you. You can relabel yourself. June 2021. And then I'm going to pin you. All right. And how about August 2021? Rachel, perfect. Go for it. And if you just rename yourself, then that would be great. And I'm going to back in. And then September 2021. Anybody?
I think Colleen would like to do something. I'm not sure she unmuted, but I can't see her picture. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys just want to raise your hand, you can totally do that. Did we miss July? Yes,
we totally missed July.
Yes, we did.
There might be a reason.
Yes.
It's called Johanna.
Yeah. But yeah, just raise your hands if you guys want to represent that.
We just ask that any representatives put the camera on because I'm reading the facial. Sorry, it helps me. Who wanted to do July? Anybody? Oh, Becky, perfect. All right, let's do July, and then August. Anybody want to do August? Oh, duh. You can tell my left brain's not working tonight. All right. And then we're going to have the ancestors. Yeah, it's Mercury's. Anybody feel like they really want to represent the ancestors, calling anybody's name? Judy, excellent. Let's go for it. Rachel's like, yes. All right, well, let's just have Judy change her name to ancestors. And then I'm just going to leave it for that for right now. All right. Whew. So I have June, July, August, and ancestors, right? What I'd like for you to do is just unmute yourself really quickly and just introduce yourself and repeat after me. I am representing, and whatever you're representing. June, when you go first?
Sure. My name is Johanna Nasser. I'm representing June 2021.
Can everybody feel that? So exciting. All right, thank you. All right, July.
I am Becky Schoonover, and I am representing July 2021.
Woo! And August.
I'm Rachel Dykeman, and I am representing August 2021.
Can you feel all the different energies in there? Oh, yum. Okay, and my ancestors.
My name is Judy Drake, and I represent the ancestors.
Woo! Wow. Yeah, you can feel it, right? Okay, so yeah, goosebumps. All right, so who's feeling it most out of the four of you? Anything that's immediately coming up, like, oh, I've got to verbalize this. Yeah, you can just unmute yourself. Yeah,
I'm just feeling a heightened energy. More feeling warm and feeling not quite tingles, but definitely feeling an energetic rush kind of from my feet up. And of course, kitties meowing at me. But that's normal. Yeah, got very flushed and like my face is very flushed right now. Yeah, July's feeling it too.
Whew. Yeah. All right. Yeah, July's feeling it.
I'm doing the same, the flush, getting a lot of actual pressure in my chest.
Yeah.
Just feels like kind of like, but yeah, I'm like, I mean, I am 50, but still I'm feeling the flush.
Gorgeous at 50. How about June?
I just feel like I need to ground. It's almost like I'm ready to start floating above my seat now, and I'm like, let's ground, let's stay here.
Yeah, there's some pretty epic energy coming in. And
Yeah, I want to close my eyes.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes open.
And
Not sleepy, but
yeah.
like my eyes just want to close.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And the ancestors?
I just want to yawn and keep yawning. So I was covering my mouth a lot, so I'm moving a lot of energy through my body.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like I could just keep yawning and not stop actually right now. So
I'm yawning in the sense of just moving energy, or are you tired?
no, I feel energized. So I think it's just moving energy. I did have a busy day. So to get on the call, I was feeling scattered, but I feel pretty grounded. I feel excited to be here, and just all this energy is just moving through me. So it's pretty amazing to feel.
Right. So I'd love for you to imagine that you're standing behind the row of June, July, and August. Oh, look at look at August just went. What happened to August when I asked the ancestors to stand behind you guys?
I had to yawn like crazy.
Yeah.
Started yawning.
All right. Beautiful. And what's happening to July?
Yeah, I'm definitely, it's like I'm actually feeling the kind of like the drum kind of, I tend to, when I start channeling, I tend to move.
And June?
I feel called to, somebody was mentioning that, I think it was July, that she just wants to close her eyes. And for me, it's about closing my eyes to go inside, to basically like shut out the outside world and just be aware of what's going on in my body.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm envisioning a like a cave or a cavern, and we're actually around a fire. To me, there's a very, and it's probably with the ancestors being here, very like a very ancient frequency that's running through all of it, kind of almost like circling all of us.
As soon as you asked us to line up and I started yawning, like now it's hard for me to keep my eyes open, but it's not tired. It is like introspection. It's just like, okay, just cut out the visual, right? So I'm like, like my eyelids are so heavy and I keep yawning. Whew.
Yeah, let's just allow that energy to move, because it's been wanting to move, and everybody who's witnessing, they're all the star seeds. Anybody in the star seeds in the audience, if you want to share what's happening with you, you can share it in the chat. Yeah, the energy yawns are crazy. Yeah, because we're a pretty amazing group, right? I mean, all of us are pretty epic.
I'm actually sweating.
Yeah.
The ladies that are in my group know when I'm channeling that I get the boob sweat. It's become a joke. So yeah, we're full on boob sweat at this point.
Yeah. Ashley says she feels like she's going inward, but in preparation to take off. Woo. And then Johanna says, feeling discomfort in back of heart. Under her shoulder blades. Sharon has pressure point on the top of left shoulder. And Lynn says she's covered in chills. I can feel big vibrations internally. And then Jane says her cat is going crazy. And then Ashley says my heart was heavy the other day too. Wasn't sure why. I'm feeling like, yeah, Laura says feeling like busting through a 3D barrier upwards. Yes, taking off, breaking through to more 5D, easier flow. Michelle says her heart is racing. And he says, feeling like introspection is needed before taking off. Yes, the ancestors, please share.
When you asked the ancestors to line up, I immediately got a sense of like big stones kind of being erected or in place, but a strong like anchoring of that. And then I also had a vision of elephants, which, you know, isn't necessarily something that has happened to me before, but I also feel like a weight on my shoulders, like something, a burden is asking to be released kind of collectively that we no longer need to carry. So those are just some things I wanted to share.
Thank you. And does anybody, did any of the monks have any kind of reaction to what she just said? You guys can leave unmute if you want.
Sorry. Oh, okay. I'm definitely, when I am closing my eyes, I am perceiving a lot of ancestors, a lot of, what I'm getting is that there's lineage healing and some resolution, some integration of actually things that will serve us in the higher frequency realms that previous members of our lineage had access to, that we can now anchor in, but we weren't ready before.
Did you see the energy just circling in her body as she was talking? Her whole body was circling. Her energy just flowing around.
Exactly.
Every time I yawn, I'm now, I feel the need to like move my shoulders, which is not normal for me.
I know.
July is influencing me here.
Isn't it amazing to be a representative? Because you're not really you, right? There's the duality of experiences when you're a representative, and so you'll feel the energy that you're representing, but then you'll also be witness to it as well. So it's really fascinating. And Johanna says that she resonates with the feeling of pressure in the back of her heart. Johanna, would you like to be a representative? Would you be available for that?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to bring you on, and I'm going to label you grief. Grief of the past.
Past. I was just going to say it's past.
Yes. So if you could just say for all of us out loud, your name and what you're representing. And unmute yourself if you, there you go. Oh, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now, yeah.
Okay. My name is Johanna and I'm representing grief.
Does everybody feel that?
Yeah, like grief really wanted a seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
What do you
And
notice?
it's funny, I feel a lightness now that grief is here that wasn't there before. It
Yeah.
felt heavier before grief showed up. And
Needed to
now
be.
I have a much more of a lightness.
Yeah, I guess what I want to pinpoint for everyone who's witnessing and watching is that that's exactly what happens in all of our experiences, is that if we do not verbalize and or see an energy, it's like having an elephant in the room. And us sensitives can really see that, and we can feel it, and we notice it, and we're like, hey, people, how can you cannot see this crazy big elephant in the room, right? But when we collectively bring it in, all of a sudden we're released from it, right? We're no longer in kind of a restriction by that energy. All of a sudden oh yes, we've seen you. We see you, grief. We love on you, grief. Bondage by it. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's exactly the word I want. Oh, yes. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, Sharon says, my hand wants to be over my clavicle above my heart below throat chakra. And Wendy's in your stomach. And Ashley, first letting for what was, healing, letting go, accepting and thanking what happened for what happened. And yeah, and Sharon says that CVT21 point is so strong on the left shoulder. Sharon has some technical names for certain areas of the body. I love you, Sharon. And Ashley says bondage by it no longer. Sharon says gallbladder. Yeah. And what are you noticing, grief?
It's funny. I have been trying to not be a representative, but obviously I need to be. So yeah, actually when I acknowledged that I had to be here, like for grief, now I'm teary-eyed. I was teary-eyed, and then interestingly, the pain or the discomfort in the back of my heart, like, softened. It's still there, but it's a little better. And I was afraid that I'm gonna be bawling my eyes out, but really, the reality is just me acknowledging it. It's almost like the first step. I can't guarantee that I won't be bawling, but just so you're warned.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very strange. It's very strange, but in a way that I'm like expecting it. Like I've been resisting, but what you resist persists. So, and it has to be let out. So that's why I'm here.
I love it.
Yes.
And you've done some pretty epic in-person circles with me. So you've got lots of this.
I know. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give others a chance, experience Johanna's magic, and then I'm like, okay, I cannot run from it. So thank you for having me here.
Oh, you're such a beautiful being. I love you. Oh my goodness.
I was immediately having tears in my eyes when she just started talking, like just hearing her voice. And we know each other, but just hearing her voice, it's like I'm already, I'm like, there it is.
Yeah. Whatever's holding, whatever's in our energetic field, we're all kind of collectively letting it come to the surface. Lynn says she was teary when grief was introduced, but now so much lighter, and she feels reverence. I love the reverence. Sharon says tightening at the diaphragm. Whew. Okay, so how are the ancestors doing?
I was actually just going to type something in the chat, so you must have picked up on that.
Oh, that's my job.
I uh,
It's okay. Thank you
I was
so
just
much
I
for
was
letting it
just
come through you.
I was just being led to share that we have no comprehension in our humanness of the depth and the breadth of the support that is here for us. We have no human comprehension of that, is what I felt led to share.
Mm. Oh. Oh, breathing that in. Isn't that beautiful? Oh. Yeah. Michelle says, I feel that beautiful love. Mm. June, what's coming up for you?
Well, I'm bawling. So today is my husband's birthday, and I wanted to make something special for him, like a Lebanese dessert that he hasn't had in a really long time. And I was looking for a specific recipe, and I found an email from 2005 that my brother had sent me with that recipe. And so for the last couple of days, I saw the email yesterday, and so and my brother passed away in 2016. So when grief came to the table, it felt like it was giving me permission to not so not so much grieve, but to honor the memories.
Hmm. As my beautiful mentor she said that grief is suppressed gratitude.
Yeah.
Rika Zimmerman. In fact, Danielle actually wrote a book. It's called Grief is Just Suppressed Gratitude. She talks about her relationship with her mother who passed away from cancer and how just immensely grateful she was for her experience and her relationship. And because of that, she had so much grief. And we really, we grieve things because we had so much fun.
Yeah.
We really did. We really loved all those things.
And we grieve because of what we didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
What to say.
And Colleen says, when grief came to the table, my cousin broke down crying in the kitchen. Is that normal? Mm. Apparently, your cousin's part of the circle, Colleen. She's a starseed. She's working with us. Send her love. Yes. And then we will include her in this circle so that when we close, we can give her healing. Mm. And the ancestors, sorry, you said that your electricity is flickering here. That's good. Yeah, all divine, right? Like I said, if you go to a nicer dimension, let us know. All right. And beautiful. And grief. Do you have awarenesses that you'd like to share?
Yes, I definitely want to acknowledge the ancestors for giving us that permission to say that I think all of this grief is coming up too because of the lack of really the real comprehension as being humans here. Like it is very hard. It is very hard. Like, but we are trying so much to ground and to be present because really that's the only way for us to go further. So the fact that that was a really great, thank you for that permission to, acknowledge that we really don't have any comprehension. And that's why this is all the energy is also part of that, like being so confused, but at the same time wanting to know why, but we know that we cannot know everything, but just having the trust that we are guided and that having that being said by the ancestors like feels so freeing. And I'm feeling much lighter. Like the discomfort in the back of my heart is like slowly diminishing. So thank you so much for that.
Johanna, I just want to add to that what's coming through for me is that we have an immense support network on the other side. And that a lot of not just people, but animals as well are being taken. And it's causing an immense amount of grief on this side, but they're being taken for a purpose and that they are needed greatly right now to support us in our work here. Yeah.
And many of them chose in that way. They chose, so they, there was an understanding that that was the role they were going to play.
Yeah, I'm guided to do another circle and ask the animals what their story. So that will be one coming up soon.
I brought them in the initial
yeah, there's such a part of the new earth for sure.
Yeah, I think the earth, I mean, the thing about Gaia, whatever word you resonate with, her, I've been guided a lot lately, and now I'm being asked to say that, remembering we are on an ascension path as spiritual humans, and that is what set Gaia on her ascension path, not the other way around. And if we can remember that, we understand that the animals, the waterways, all of the consciousness of the planet is here in support of our ascension. Eventually, they won't need to be here for that reason, but it's also more simple than we are making it out to be, and that there's a lot that our humanness wants to understand, but it's actually not required. If we just tap into our source connection, it becomes more and more simple.
Yeah,
more and more ease filled, that we don't need to get ourselves so much up in a knot. There's so much that we can simply release and integrate and shift into that. You really need to let go of so much of the need for why, how, what.
Enjoy the journey.
Just be more being, more connecting, less fretting.
Trying to control it.
Is anybody else feeling the need to tone or hum or something?
That's good.
Maybe the ancestors are inviting you.
You've had a lot of emotions coming up though, too, ancestors that you haven't been sharing. I see them.
I love what Wendy said in the chat. Sorry, I'm taking over your job.
No.
Really love what she said yesterday about you don't have to understand gravity to use it. Exactly.
I am led to share that our humanness is what we need to be really embracing right now. And that means like literally working with our body, like literally touching ourselves points. And I love that Sharon mentioned the gallbladder 21, like those are meridian points that we work I work with too in my meridian yoga practice. It's literally that those points that you can touch in your body to really experience it, and when you do that, it's a way of letting the energy flow. So it's very funny to me that I'm the one, but this message is coming through me right now because huh, um everything just happens for a reason. Like I've been studying this very recently and I'm like, okay, that's why I'm here today. And it's very important that we acknowledge that. Um, all we're doing right now is amazing, like, really sitting in with the energy. But in order to really move the energy, like, we have to literally touch ourselves in certain points of our body. So,
Do you feel right now, in terms of in reference to grief, somewhere in your body that you feel like you
we're
really
in,
need to touch?
well, right now I'm guided to do this top point of our head. Like, if you have like, it's supposed to be 7 suns. It's like a measurement, but like four fingers from the top of your hairline, and then fold it. And that end over there, that's where your point is. You're just gonna point, like touch it with both hands. If you can put your feet down on the floor, and then just really like, it's a grounding, grounding point for you with your fingertips, and just like sit with it and just breathe with it. You can do this throughout your day. There's a lot of different points, but this one is immediately what is coming through to ground you, and also like really honor all this collective energies that we're enjoying right now.
Would you be available to hold that for the collective, for the circle, for a
Yes,
minute?
sure.
And
Yes.
I'm gonna go back to the ancestors, and and how are the ancestors doing?
I'm just humming over here.
We want to hear.
I have never toned or anything in my whole entire life, or that sort of thing. So
I love it. It's obviously a skill that you're channeling right now.
yes.
Whoa, that's awesome.
do you want me just to do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Doesn't
gosh.
everybody want?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please. Thank you. Did everybody feel that magic of their presence in our field? They're here supporting us. Did you get any messages while you were doing that?
Well, I got a personal message.
Oh, well, it's
Well,
up to you whether you want to
I
share.
mean, just when I was on mute, I felt very expansive in my throat, like I had a lot of energy. And then when I was not on mute, I was very constricted and had a harder time channeling. So that is my lesson in discovering and owning my voice. And
Well,
Yes.
I'd
Sorry.
I'd love to also acknowledge with the circle is that that's actually our lesson too. Like you're channeling for us as a collective, because everything that's coming through is part, we're all here for a reason, and that I can definitely resonate with that, utilizing my voice and even just starting this circle was a commitment to myself, my own ascension, and providing and facilitating the space so others can join in. And I totally can feel that. Yeah, it's a risk, right? Of the rejection.
You know what's so interesting though is when you started Ancestors, the vibration. I was doing it first with you, but then I stopped and just felt the vibration, and primarily I felt it in my head, but I still feel it in my throat still. And it is like an expansion. It is very much a vibration right here, but it does feel like it's clearing out and expanding that space.
Definitely throat chakra for sure. It's a big, it came up in the last circle, and it will be probably a theme of our starseeds aligning with our voices. Yeah, I could hear myself humming. I wanted to actually be really present and allow to receive. But Lynn says there are hundreds of beings around us and with us. And then, yeah, June said Johanna says she felt it in her head. And yeah, we're giving our ancestors a voice. Exactly. Wendy says she was humming with you, and the Jane says the chanting was powerful. She heard deep drumming.
I'm just being asked.
June?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, go.
I'm just being asked to share. It came in while she was humming. That we are, as spiritual humans, you're using the term starseed, that a spiritual human is, oh, my vision board just fell off the wall. That's fascinating.
New vision.
That as spiritual humans, we are a highly evolved species. The reason why we were able to, or were called to take form, was because of the high evolutionary state. And so that we may have it backwards when it comes to star seeds. That isn't the sense of longing or homesickness isn't because that is a more angelic, higher vibrational space. It simply is. And yet we tend to downplay. It's like somehow we're lesser, and it's not a hierarchy, but that we need to understand that this was a high mission to come in. And part of why the awakening is happening as it is, that we chose to awaken. Not everybody chose to. And so we can release a lot of attachment to people, wanting to awaken others. It's not our role. They chose before they came in, and as their part of their evolutionary journey, but that we are, there's big work to do here. And that's why we're really feeling this sense of intensity ramp up and purpose driving us forward, because we didn't just come in here to, have a physical experience. We came in here with work to do. Work's not the best word, but it was really strongly, it was like, say it. And she was humming. I was like, I can't yet, be quiet. I will in a minute. So, just for us to really honor as spiritual humans who we really are, and not to downplay and not to abdicate our divineness in any way.
Yeah, absolutely. Really resonate with that. Yeah. June, do you have any awarenesses that are coming up?
I mentioned in the chat that when the ancestors started humming, I felt it in my head, but then at one point it sounded like the humming sounded like a steamship, like the horn of a steamship, and that's what I saw in front of me. I saw a steamship with all of these. I'm thinking like the 20s, and all these couples are basically kind of like the Love Boat, but a little more serious, and just kind of standing there all looking at us, instead of them waving with their little, with their drinks, their cocktails and umbrellas. They're just kind of standing there very stoic and just observing us, just looking at us. And so the way that I interpret it is, we left because they're going off on the steamship. We're gone, but you're here in our place. You're continuing the mission.
Yeah. Sharon says sandalwood essential oil wanted to be used as a plant aloe near around throat, left shoulder. Okay, thank you. And Laura says work old, divine service new. Yes. Drink lots of water. All of a sudden, everybody's thirsty. All right. Okay, so I have one more representative that I'd really love to invite. And so I'd like to invite the audience, anybody who's really feeling the call, let me know. Put your hand up. Lind, lovely. Here we go. All right. Lind, you're going to represent, or if you're okay with it, we're going to represent the catalyst. And as I was sort of really tapping into tonight's circle, I really felt the dragon energy really, really strong. So if you have any alignment to the dragon energy, but if you could unmute yourself and say your name and then what you're representing, which is the catalyst, the awakening.
I'm Lindy, and I'm representing the catalyst.
Woo, tingles. Thank you, Lindy.
Johanna, I would just
Yeah.
like to say that my last name is Drake, which means dragon, and I represent the ancestors. Just gonna throw that right out there in our little circle.
That's awesome.
Definitely dragon energies very present.
Cool.
So did anybody have a response to Lindy? If you want to change your name, then we can remember what you want. You could just rename it. Anybody have within the circle have a response, and of course the audience as well, if you have a response to what the energy shift happened when the catalysts arrived?
I just heard a yes.
Not letting me.
I keep giggling because I am here as activator and a catalyst. So I'm just giggling because it is a yes, and then it's also for the people that other people, it's like, oh God.
My phone is not letting me
Oh,
change
it's all
my
right.
name.
No,
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Let me see if I can change it. There you go. Okay.
I'm just desperately hot.
Okay.
And I'm always cold. And I'm just like, the heat. And it surged with the with catalyst, like very much in my forehead and my cheeks. Yeah.
Definitely a shift in energy. The discomfort in my back is almost like not there.
Beautiful.
And then I felt like August just said, like I feel more pressure on the head. It's not pain, it's just like a lot is in here.
Okay.
So it's like here. I think it's more like more awakening is coming, like just like, you know, our minds are open. And interestingly, because of that point too, this is like the, oh my gosh, the crown chakra point too, which corresponds to that point that we were doing. So which makes perfect sense. So it's ready to like be given up to the universe.
And how does the catalyst feel?
I feel called to project energy to everyone and to hold it steady. There's such a big flow happening that it feels like it could go off in different trajectories, and it needs to be held.
So for sort of like visual people, the ancestors are one end of the room, and then the catalyst is on the other, and so they're kind of facing each other, and then the months are lined up, and then grief, where would you put yourself in between? So you're on mute.
That's a very good question. I'm almost feeling like it's the ancestor grief, and then the months, and then catalyst is here.
Because they're,
does that feel?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you feel about that, the catalyst? Feel like that's a good placement for grief?
Yes, it just seemed, at first it seemed like she was hovering over everyone, and then she settled. So yeah, that does feel right.
How does June, July, and August feel about the catalyst? And do we need one more thing in order for you to shift? Or are you ready?
I'm ready.
Sorry. Go ahead, June.
I'm ready. Just bring it. I got really excited when the catalyst came on board. And it shifted the whole energy for me.
I'm getting the message of one more, so.
Yeah, I think so. There's something else in August that's happening. Okay, beautiful. That's really.
And let me say, I think that I need to say this is that, and I don't remember when it was happening, but I was, I felt I could not keep my eyes open again. This was a little before, and I was moving forward and back, which is super weird. I was rocking, and I got the message that August is about movement. Whatever that means.
And I'm feeling like I want to say July is about expansion.
Okay, so there's one more really quick thing we're going to do. Anybody in this circle wants to be a representative? We're feeling the call. It's going to be really quick. Oh, Wendy. Perfect. Let's do it. All right. So Wendy, really quickly, we're going to have you represent choice. So if you could just say your name and then what you represent.
I am Wendy and I represent choice.
How does August feel now?
Choice feels good. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's good. Now I want to move again. Now my eyes want to be closed and I want to move again.
Ooh. Oh, I'm even moving. Like everybody's moving. Happy dance, Michelle says. I think we're all gonna meet at the disco in August. Like, can we teleport by that time? Whoop, whoop. Oh, yay. We're all moving. I love it. Amazing. Anybody wants to say any last words? Anything that comes up?
I keep hearing the words deeply rooted.
Nice. Yes, we need everything grounded. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your roots will help you rise.
Ooh.
Oh, that just made me super emotional. Like thinking about that, that the roots will make you rise. I just got like a really like strong.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's about doing the foundational work that I think a lot of us, we spend a lot of time working on ourselves, and sometimes it doesn't feel like it's where we should be spending our time, but that is the work that's going to allow us to rise higher and higher.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, it reminds me of like an arrow, a bow and arrow. Like, you know how we feel like we're getting like pushed back to do the work. And it's like, I don't feel like doing the work, but it's like push back. And then as soon as we do it enough to what we need, then it's like.
I love that, Ashley.
I'm literally raking my fingers across the tops of my thighs right now as I rock back and forth, and don't know why.
Because August is going to be an epic month. If you like,
it is.
Telling you, it is. There is some magical energy. So for those of you not familiar with my Facebook group, I have, and I do a monthly reading and color, and so I've been tapping into the colors every month. June, July, and then August. And August has completely different energy. It has an iridescent purple. Like I've never seen the iridescent before. and it is massive. There is a wave of energy that is coming in for us for August. So it's not surprised that August needed the choice, because it is going to be ultimately our choice to move into a higher perspective. And there's no judgment, like Becky was saying, this is our choice. We have the open door to choose ascension, right? And there's no judgment whether you choose it or you don't choose it, but this is an availability. It's kind of like, we got a ticket, and we get to go to the party, so it's really our availability. Yay! How epic is this? Thank you so much. Anything last minute? I'm going to close it up. Yes, grief.
Yeah, so the discomfort is coming like in and out. So right now I still feel it, but definitely not like as strong. But the message that I'm getting is that it is a reminder for you to make a choice. So it's almost like we're getting there, but we're not quite there yet. Obviously, we're still in June. So it is to remind us, when you feel that heaviness, we feel that discomfort, it's a call for you to really go back in and tell yourself, make the choice to how you want to move forward. So it's almost like a reminder. It's not like to weigh you down, but almost like a grounding tap in your back, like, hey, where are you? What are you doing? So it's almost like just basically a check-in for us. So I'm feeling lighter. It's just like, I'm not labeling the sensation. It's just there. Like, it's still there, because you have to make a conscious choice constantly, everything, every day. You have to make a constant choice. So
absolutely. Yeah. And it's, every now new moment, right?
Yes.
And Amanda says, beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Kate says, thank you for this. So happy to be part of this beautiful circle. Absolutely. And yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. But if you do experience grief throughout the process, again, that Johanna gave us this beautiful technique like this. I can't. And yeah, and then remember, it's a choice, and then there's magic in the air. So thank you for everybody. All right, so let's end this. Let's close the circle, everybody. I would love for you to bow to each other and really release the energy. Say thank you so much. I'm so honored to be part of this circle, and that we thank all the ancestors and all the beautiful beings that have been with us throughout this time. We thank them for the future and their support, and really, really have gratitude. And we release all the energy that it does not belong to us up into the field. And for those of you who represented, you can either stand up physically and or just energetically. Just imagine yourself stepping out of the energy that you represented, and then come back to you. And you can choose your namesake. I am. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Well, as you know, I'll be doing more of these circles, and then you get on the email list at energyhealingcircles.com. We'll be having more beautiful connections, and we'll continue the journey. We'll continue the story as we go along throughout this New Earth series. I just want to thank everybody for participating, and I'm going to turn off the recording, but you may please stay with us and we can continue the conversation.